Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's a special video because I am participating in the DIY Mommies Challenge. It's a Christmas and DIY decor kind of challenge. It's a lot of fun, and today I decided to do some bigger impact items for a much lower budget. So I really hope you enjoy them, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so. It would really help me out a lot. I am just a pretty brand new channel, starting to grow a little bit, and I'm really enjoying the community that it provides. And I don't know about you, but my husband and family don't really get into crafting, so it's really nice to be able to connect with everybody that does, and I'd really appreciate it. So go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and I will see you again next time. Bye. All right, so for the first project we're going to do is we're going to use some of this Dollar Tree foam board. And first what we're doing is we're going to cut out in the shape of a sled. It doesn't end up staying this way, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to use one of these little cutters. They're from Hobby Lobby. I will link it below if I can find it, and what I'm doing is I'm just using it to cut the foam board. It works pretty well, and the person who I kind of found this technique from, I'll link them below. That way you can go through and get a little bit more detail and depth on how to do this, but the basic shape is kind of just what I'm starting with, and you'll see in a minute it's not something I end up keeping anyways. So next we're going to just go ahead and measure everything out. We're going to do it in a 3-inch plank almost, and we're going to do that with this wider ruler and then also a yardstick. Alright, so now that all the pieces are cut out, we're going to go in with the edge of a marker and a couple other little tools to kind of gouge it, give it little pinholes. See, like there's like just a skewer to do that. This is just going to basically give you a look of wood, because it's not perfect, it's not perfectly smooth, and it's going to add you a little texture. So same thing we're going to do here is we're going to just make it look like wood. I'm using both clear wax and the antique wax. So what you'll do is you'll kind of blend them together, and you're going to use the brush on kind of where all the pieces meet. That way you'll give it kind of a consistent look from each piece, so it looks like it goes together and not that it's just wood that doesn't belong together, if you know what I mean. Alright, so next we're going to go in with the sponge, and you're basically just going to add layers. You'll take a little bit of the clear wax, the antique wax, and you're just going to add in a little bit of layering to it to kind of get rid of the white. And then you'll slowly build upon it and build upon it and build upon it. If you check out the Peppermint Cactus's site, she does a great job kind of explaining it in some of her videos. So I'm going to speed through kind of the rest of this and just take it out of the video. That way you can get to the content of what we're actually making. Alright, so here's a basic idea of kind of what you're going to end up with. One in the middle is mostly done. I'll probably go in and add a little bit more after this. You're just going to kind of see, like I said, you just layer on it. You want it to be a little bit darker in some spots to give more of like a wood grain appearance, if that makes any sense to you. See how it looks like really splotchy on the pieces up on the top? That's kind of what you're starting with, and then you build upon that and kind of build and build and build. And that's the basic idea of this technique, at least. So these are the pieces once they're finished, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue them down to a black piece of foam board. I believe this is optional. I didn't want to try to glue them together. I wanted a little bit more stability, so I would definitely recommend doing this, except I would say to go ahead and cut down your backing piece first. And if you're going to use hot glue, I would definitely recommend moving fast. They do not give you a lot of time to play with it. One thing I'm going to eventually try out, the Dollar Tree does make a foam board glue. I haven't tried it yet, but I think I'm going to give it a go and see how it works with this kind of medium. But for now, the hot glue is definitely working. It's, it's not melting it to the point where it's not like you can, do anything with it. So But as you'll see here, I do glue the whole thing together, and what I end up doing kind of off camera is I end up cutting it down because I'm not happy with the way it looks. So here I'm just going to go ahead and start to trim off that part, the black part. Like I said, I definitely recommend doing this part before you glue it down. But what you don't see on here is I do trim off those two pieces on either side, and I'm going to go straight across the top part. So here's the way it ended up looking. Much happier with it like this than I was with it looking more like a sled. So first we're going to go ahead and glue on a little hanger in case we end up using it. I think for the initial use I'm not going to be planning on using that, but I've got this really thick nautical rope from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to trim it down to be pretty short. I don't want it to hang really low. And I'm just going to glue the dickens out of it, basically. Lots and lots and lots of hot glue on here. That way it is a pretty secure hold. I would not recommend putting anything overly heavy on here. What we're going to do is I'm going to put a hook like you see here. I do end up Velcroing it. I glue the Velcro on and I fix that pick on there, and I thought I had filmed it, but apparently I did not. So anyway, sorry, here is the bow I'm gonna make. I needed to hide part of that hook, so I got this from Walmart, and we're just gonna make a basic bow. I think it's basic bow. If you've watched me before, you know I'm not the greatest at bow making. So I'm just gonna gather kind of where it is in the middle, make my little loops, and we're going to zip tie it to keep it shut. So this way it's going to hide my Velcro. My Velcro is hot glued to the board, and then well, my Velcro is hot glued to the board and to a hook. That way I can take my hook on and off, and that way it ends up making it to where I can move and change these pieces that are on that foam board wood plank thing. So anyways, back to the bow, sorry. And I'm gonna go ahead and give the ends a little ducktail. So I'm trying to remember like which way do I cut it, and I made it. I'm like, oh yay, I made it. And then I'm gonna add a little piece to the middle because I want to, again, I'm covering up a hook, so I don't want it to be too terribly obvious. So at first I'm like, oh, I'll just half it, and then I was like, no, I want it big. So I'm gonna just kind of fold it in there, and I will add my hot glue underneath it, and that will kind of give us our thick middle part to the bow. Hold it on there longer than I did because it ended up coming undone a little bit, so I just kind of push it back into place. And what I'll do is I will hot glue another piece of Velcro to the back of the bow and to the like right above the hook on the foam board to give it a nice little hiding spot for that hook. And it gives you another little like spots to let the to fix something else to it. So I wanted to be able to take that hook off because I might not always end up putting like a piece of pick. It might be a sign or something like that. So here it is, all done, pressed up against the tree. I think it looks really nice. And we're on to the next one. This one is just a canvas. It's an 11 by 14 canvas from Dollar Tree. It is flat like a plank kind of canvas. And then I'm using this blue paint from Apple Barrel. It is called English Navy. I do go in with 3 coats eventually on here to give us the opacity. I cannot talk today. The opacity that we're looking for. So this piece of vinyl I did cut out on my Cricut. It's just the lyrics to Oh Holy Night, and this vinyl is from Cricut. And I don't know if it's like I should have used a different transfer tape, like the transfer tape from Cricut or what, but I tell you what, I was not at all happy with the way it worked. I get this transfer tape from Expressions Vinyl and I love it, but it did not do me any help on this piece of vinyl from Cricut. So it took forever. So that's why it's not in here. But you will get the basic idea of it here in just a moment. You'll see the end result. So here's what it looked like after I got all of the vinyl off, and then here is it sitting up on the mantle. It's just really pretty, and it's just one of my favorite songs at Christmas time. So I hope that you all enjoyed it. Here's a look at the two projects, and I really hope that you're going to be able to have a great and wonderful holiday season. And please don't forget to subscribe and mention down in the comments if you're new here. I'd love to meet you, and I hope to see you again next time.